hunting,
fishing,
cooking,
camping,
conservation,
travel,
gardening,
photography, family.
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 This is the Outdoor Rules Podcast.
On the count of 1, 2, 3. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you.
Happy birthday, Uncle Mark.
Happy birthday to you. We love you, Uncle Mark. Love you.
Good job, boys. Hey, I got a question quick.
What?
What do you love about Uncle Mark?
CJ's his daughter?
Oh, that's a good one.
That he's our uncle?
Yeah. You know what I love?
What?
I love that he's my little brother.
He's not little, bro. But he is his little brother.
He'll
Hi.
always be my little brother. Just like even if you get bigger than Robert Emmit, you're going to be Robert's little brother always. Hi, everybody, and welcome to another episode of the Outdoor Rules Podcast. It's a special week in the outdoor rules world. Our baby brother turns 40 this week. Mark, happy birthday.
Oh boy. Thank you.
Birthday's tomorrow, right?
Tomorrow morning. Yep. Tomorrow.
We're recording on Saturday, and your birthday's on Sunday the 16th.
Yep.
Happy birthday.
Thank you.
So,
Waited 40 years for this one.
I suppose you did. It's kind of hard to believe that we're all going to be in our 40s now.
Yeah, really.
I wonder, there aren't a lot of years where we're all in the same decade of life.
Yeah. Matt's 48, right?
Matt is 48 and will be 49
In March.
in March. Yeah, so we get around 2 years where we're all in the same decade of life. So that's kind of interesting. So, in thinking about this episode, what I thought we might talk about, I don't want to let you off the hook, gotta sort of hold your feet to the fire here. So I thought my first question would be, what do you feel like you've done to me in your first 40 years of life that you should apologize for?
Absolutely nothing. I've been a joy.
That's exactly what I thought you would say about that. No, seriously. 40's kind of a big milestone. I felt like 40 was kind of a big milestone for me. Big and not as big a deal as often gets made of it. But I know it's sort of cliche, but I'm going to ask it anyway. What do you feel like turning 40 means to you?
I don't think it means, at least this point, on 39 and 364 days, or 65, whatever, that I don't think it means as much as I thought it was going to mean.
Yeah.
I don't feel like, I don't know. It's, obviously you're turning 40, all your life, you look at somebody and go, that person's 40, and you're like, oh, they're old.
Uh-huh.
And now it's like, I don't feel like I am as old as I think I should feel. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't feel as grown up, I guess, as maybe not that I don't feel as old. There's days where I definitely feel old, but I don't feel as grown up as I thought I would feel at 40, I guess, is more accurate.
Interesting. I think for me, when I turned 40, one of the things that was, I want to say hard to escape, but that's probably not right, is that, if you're a fortunate person, 80 good years is, kind of what I think you could really hope for, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, hope for longer, but,
Sure.
that's in the ballpark of reasonable. And that was probably the only thing that struck me as like, this is probably halfway.
Yeah. I mean, Pop Grant was 72, I
Yep.
believe.
Mm-hmm.
So, I'm only 4 years older than his half-life, and that event had such an impact on our lives. It's hard not to think about that at times.
Mm-hmm.
But, and Pop Bud was 82, I believe.
Yeah.
So yeah. I agree with you. It's hard not to think about that, but there's no guarantees,
No.
So,
and I don't mean it like from a morbid standpoint. I really mean more of like, what do you reflect on in the first half? What do you really reflect on in the first 40 years?
Oh man. I don't know. I mean, there's been so many ups and downs. Obviously, everybody goes through those. I hope that for the most part, I'm known at least for trying to be positive through as much of those as I could have been. It's not that's ever easy, but you have to try to stay as positive about what's going on as you can. And admittedly, like with health things over the last 3 years, it's been a little harder than what it was at 35 or 30, or maybe that's age too. I don't know. But, Pop Grant used to say, live each day like the best is yet to come. And I've tried to do my best to live up to that motto as possible. It doesn't mean days aren't heavy, but, you'll get through it.
Yeah. I mean, what do you, specifically between 30 and 40, what do you feel like you've learned? Like, what has life taught you?
Sassy kids don't get any less sassy between 3 and 10.
I think there's bad news coming for both of us in that regard. 'Cause something tells me between 10 and 17 isn't going to probably get any better.
I would agree. I mean, CJ was born when I was 30, basically. So the last 10 years have truly been fatherhood, learning about fatherhood, learning about the joys that come with that, the struggles that come with that. I don't know that it feels, it was also weird. We went through COVID.
Mm-hmm.
We went through a lot of changes in the world. A lot. It feels to me like there's even from 20 to 30, there's way, way, way more news being bombarded on us daily. So I think some of the things I'm learning here very late in my 30s is, yeah, those things are bad. Yeah, that's terrible. But at some point, like, I can't know every happening of all the billions of people in this world, and I just need to disassociate somewhat of the things that don't affect me. That doesn't mean you shouldn't be passionate about things that you're passionate about. Like public land, stuff like that, that's important to each person, and every person has their own thing that's important to them. But you can't just constantly just bombard yourself with bad news. It doesn't lead to a good place for anybody. And so part of that is the best is yet to come, right? Tomorrow's got to be better than today. And I got to keep trying to figure that out and look forward to that.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think you're right in the sense of it's an active thing. Figuring out why tomorrow, or, in what ways the best is yet to come. Like, it's that idea that the world either acts on you or you act on the world. And I think, like you're talking about with news, if you're constantly if all you're doing is letting the world act on you, boy, it's hard to not lose your own thread in that, versus you making the world that you want to live in. and maybe helping to make the broader world a better place, but to more specifically to make your world and the world for the people that you love a better place.
Yeah. And it's easy to go, this happened today, this made me in a bad mood. Now I'm going to throw the middle finger up to somebody in traffic who cut me off and not say thank you to the cashier when she brings me out. But aren't we better off if we all just, give a little grace, say thank you, have a nice day. And that interaction may brighten that person's day, and that can have a cascading effect. We're all humans. We're all here. We'll all make it.
Yeah. What's that thing that you want to keep working on? What's that thing that at 40 you feel like when you get to 50 that you'd like to be different?
Different in my own personality?
Sure.
Oh, I mean that's a giant, I'd like to be a little less quick to anger. Just cool myself down a little bit. I think we're all a little hot-headed at times.
No.
I mean, there's plenty of things, I continue to work. Goals I'm working towards, in my career, aspirations I have there, in my faith. We don't talk about it much here. I'm a faithful guy, so I'm constantly working on that. I don't think anybody who is walking that path knows that's not ever a complete path. There's plenty of things I need to correct and work on there. But in the end, I just hope to be someone that people have a positive reaction to when they see me or talk to me or hear my name. Thinking some of that hot-headedness and stuff in our teens and our 20s, maybe I wasn't the best version of myself that I could be. So I think the other thing is I'm trying to focus in on something that is what am I doing to better where I'm leaving? And that doesn't mean I'm going to run for political office or whatever, but what tree am I planting that is going to be a lasting impression on this earth and on this property and for CJ for years to come. And that's just an example, but what am I doing to leave a good impression as far as my legacy goes?
Yeah, legacy is a sort of an interesting idea. And I mean, it's not something that I gave much thought in my younger life. And even to hear you talk about legacy is that definitely shows me that, there's a lot of, there's just a lot of that comes with getting into this age bracket, I think, to really think about what is that impression that I leave on the world. And, I mean, we're not all George Washington. So it's,
Nope.
you got to sort of find satisfaction in taking small steps, right?
Yeah, I think that, and we talk about the uncles all the time. And I look to them in a lot of things that they did in and around the deer camp. And that's their, in a way, that's their legacy. And I'm sure in their personal lives they've done or are doing those things too. But those guys were always, working on something at camp, planting a tree, just doing things to make it better for those who are coming next. And I was struck by the quote that great societies are built when wise men plant trees of which you'll never see the shade. And I, I'm not trying to get negative in any way, but I don't know that that's a feeling that I feel like some of that's been maybe lost in the last few years over a generation or two. And so, how do we get back on track with that thing? And I think it's kind of the small things. It's what can we do individually in our lives to show that the next generation that's what we want to do.
Yeah, and I think talking about our great uncles, our grandparents, our parents, and the idea of legacy is really the fact that you talk about them, or that we talk about them as examples, is the legacy. It's probably the most impactful thing that I will do. I don't want to speak for you, but the idea that the physical things I leave probably aren't going to be that impactful, but the ripple that I think I can have, I talked in an episode a while back about the thing I really want for the boys is for them to be nice.
Yeah.
Because that if I can raise nice kids, if I can show other people a level of kindness that could be an example, and I fail at it all the time, but and if I can do the same things that our uncles and our grandparents and our parents did for us and showed us how to exist in the world, then maybe I can leave the world a little bit of a better place, because there's a little bit more kindness, a few more people out there that are inclined to be nice.
Yeah. So,
absolutely. Well, this has been heavy already. Jeez. It's an outdoor podcast, isn't it?
Yeah.
No.
Kind of. I'm talking about planting trees, man.
Sometimes.
Yeah. Don't get me riled up like you got Uncle Sim riled up in the last one.
Oh, man. He had to edit some things out. He yelled at me. He told me that I got him all fired up. I told him he got himself fired up. Oh, what a great thing to have him around to provide the perspective on, he's way past that. He's more than double my age. He's way past double your age. So who knows? We might still be cussing at each other in 45 or 50 more years, Mark. I wonder what episode of the podcast we'll be on in 50 years. A lot. It's a lot.
When's my contract run up?
I don't know.
Look into that.
Yeah. I hope my compensation goes up at some point. No, from an outdoors standpoint, what's different about you as an outdoorsman at 40 than it was at 20?
Oh, I put a lot less weight on if I kill it, if I harvest anything, if I catch the fish, if we caught a cobia, you and I, back in June.
Yeah, we did,
together in the boat, and maybe I would feel different if it wasn't my boat, but it takes a team, right? It's it was your fish. Like, I'm not saying it's not your fish, but it's a group fish, and I feel just as happy. Like, my goal for that week was for you to catch a cobia, and I haven't caught one in 30 years or whatever. So I put so much more weight in the time that we're together, and the enjoyment of other people doing stuff. CJ, Rachel, Kaylee, your boys, than I do in anything that I've done outdoors or will do in the outdoors. So there was a time where I would have been jealous probably of you catching that cobia, and just the maturity and knowing that you know there's so much more out there than holding the fish as mine. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Does that make sense?
sure. I think for me, I felt a lot of burden of comparison of myself against other people. And I think I felt that for a long time. It certainly didn't end at 20, and it's not over now. But
No.
I think that especially 20 years ago, or when I was in my 20s, it was really about like, oh, other people are killing big bulls or lots of ducks or this or that, and and I'm not. And boy, one thing I've come to realize is hard to compare yourself to the situations that other people are in.
Absolutely.
It's become much more about the satisfaction that I find in it overall than it is, in what we harvest or how that compares to what anybody else is doing.
How lucky are we that the lottery ticket that we pulled
Oh my God.
was for mom and dad, who on our bad days, you and I are sitting in a boat together in the middle of Chesapeake Bay.
Yeah.
Or sitting on a mountain in Montana, or, sitting in a tree stand or driving deer in Potter County, and nothing happens. But that's the worst of it. Nothing happens. We didn't harvest a deer. We didn't shoot we didn't shoot an elk. We didn't catch a fish. Like, golly, there's like, and anybody can be into whatever they're into, I enjoy video games still. 40 years old. Here I am. That's something I didn't think at 13 I'd be doing, but I am. And there's nothing wrong with people who that's all they want to do. But like, to me, like, our bad days, we're getting to see some beautiful places and be together. Like, what a lottery ticket we pulled in the game of life.
Well, and I think the lens of age really allows you to see the gratitude that you should have about everything. I mean, holy moly, you start with, just the lottery ticket you pull of being born in the United States,
Sure. Yeah.
Richest country the world has ever known. I have never once in my life wondered where my next meal is going to come from.
Right.
I mean, maybe when I was somewhere I shouldn't have been in the mountains, but but that entirely of my own choice.
Right.
Every hardship I've ever had has essentially been entirely of my own making.
First world problem, for sure.
100%. And and then within that, to be born into an amazing family. I mean, first of all, just two parents who loved us. Not everybody gets that, and we had that. And then, we were a long way from being rich, but again, we had economic resources that, maybe we camped as kids, instead of staying in fancy houses all the time. But our parents had the means and the willingness, not just the financial means, but the willingness to take us to all these amazing places that we've gotten to see and to teach us this cool stuff. And, now we've grown into adults that again, have the ability to, I mean, I live 2,000 miles away from you guys or whatever. And, we connect digitally like this all the time, which is an amazing blessing. And then we're also able to get together and cobia fish, like we did a couple months ago. And then to also have, met incredible people in our lives and started our own families and been blessed with professional success and all the rest of it. And, I know it's you've had some health challenges that are hard for me to imagine. But even at that, we both made it into our 40s, and there are a lot of people that don't carry the level of health that we have into this stage of life.
Absolutely.
You know, I lost I don't want to talk about it. I don't want to provide any details. It's really fresh, but you know, we lost an acquaintance this week, Caitlin and I, that was much too young and went suddenly, and you just go like, wow, you know, every day really is an amazing blessing.
Yeah. Absolutely. And you know, that's one of the things I think on the precipice of 40, I'm definitely waking up every day and just being grateful that I woke up, that I get to spend the day with my girls. Because you don't know what tomorrow is going to hold for anybody. And so again, I come back to just focusing on that mindset of the best is yet to come too, you know, like, yeah, there are days that suck with health things, but it'll get better. Even if it's bad, it'll get better at some point. And I am blessed that I'm still here.
Yeah. So, is there one moment that you can think of in your outdoor pursuits that you'd love to have back?
Well, I wish my brother would have been with me when I missed that buck 4 times.
Yeah. But he was.
But he was.
I wish I had hit record on the video camera.
We'd be cutting to that clip right now. I mean, I don't know. You know, the just trips I missed out on. I mean, I wish I would have been there for when Dad shot the big bull in the breaks with you guys. I wasn't able to make that trip. You know, it's more so there's nothing I've done that I'm like, you know, you've hit animals that you wish you had back. That's part of it though. You as sad as it is, I think it's something that you need to go through sometimes too. Like, just give you a greater appreciation for making sure that you're putting in the work that you need to put in. You know, just making sure you're shooting as much as possible with making sure your equipment's up and up on the up and up type of thing. Because once you've done it, you're like, I don't ever want to do that again.
Yeah.
Yeah. Obviously, I wish I would have been of age to hunt with Pop Grant, but again, we're not guaranteed anything, so that's no one's fault or nothing that anyone could have controlled. I don't know. Lots of times missing with a flintlock that I wish I could have had that shot back.
Yeah.
Many times.
Although you have no idea what you did wrong or where the shots went. So,
well, right. There's no guarantee that if I had it back, anything would have changed.
Yeah. I had one with an elk where Caitlin and I crawled in on a bull on the first day of rifle season, and I took a knee. We were at 150 yards, and he was bedded. And I settled the crosshairs on him, and I thought, oh, I could make this shot no problem. And then I thought, he has no idea we're here. Don't do it. You know, get to that next little tree and rest the rifle on something. And I mean, I got to that tree and I slid the rifle through, laid it on a limb. And the second the crosshairs hit him, I felt the wind hit me in the back of the neck. And he was out of that bed and running. I mean, there was zero hesitation. And, you know, that was it. And I don't have a lot of those moments that I feel like, oh man. And, you know, good luck, bad luck, who knows? Entirely possible that I would have muffed the shot, wounded an elk. You know what I mean? It could also have been it could be regret in exactly the opposite way.
Right. Yeah.
And that, I think, is one of those lessons that I've learned too over the years, is just like, yeah, you think you know what would have happened Like if that turned out differently, you think you would have known. You think you know what would have happened, but you don't.
Mm-hmm. No.
And you know,
I guess.
go ahead.
I guess that does. There was a time in New Jersey where I would have killed what still would have been today the biggest buck I've ever shot with a bow, and for some reason that I still to this day don't know. I was in a climber, but I always before I did anything, like I put my release on and climbed with my release on, and for some reason I didn't. I put it on before I left the house. I'd flip it up and then slide it under my sleeve. And it's, strapped to your wrist. I climb, and I'd climb in my climber with it like that. And there I didn't have to. I could drive in a golf cart, so like it wasn't like I was driving in a car anywhere. And always climbed with my release on. Went out there, climbed the tree, realized I didn't have my release on, and about the minute I realized I didn't have my release on, the dope went underneath me, and followed by a little buck, and followed by this big buck, until I got my release on and got him stopped. I didn't have a chance to range him. I didn't have anything, and I ended up shooting over his back. It's like, why that time? You know what I mean? Like, why?
Right.
Why that time did I not? I don't know. You'll never know. Could I have that back? Yeah, but
yeah,
have to learn those lessons.
I guess they're hard though.
Yeah, they suck.
Yeah, I mean it's hard. It's hard. It is easy to be like, oh, I don't worry about killing the elk anymore, and I really genuinely don't, to the degree that I did at 25. But there are those things that stick out that are like, man, I just should have done that one little thing different there, and might have just been a whole different thing. What's the thing from an outdoor standpoint, or I guess anything, that you'll never do again? Like I know I'm sort of dropping you. I'm hitting you with questions here. Like, I am confident that I will never crawl up in a flock of snow geese and shoot a whole bunch of snow geese again.
Yeah.
I love doing it.
I would. Yeah.
Fun when I was a kid. I don't want a pickup truck full of snow geese. No interest in it anymore. Not looking down on anybody that hunts them and harvests a lot of snow geese. They're making use of them. Great. Just, that part of my hunting career is past. Is there anything like that for you?
I would absolutely say the same thing. Even if CJ really decides she wants to go shoot geese, Canada's, I'd go. But duck hunting was fun just because I think ducks are really pretty birds, and I'd always like to have different species mounted. But yeah, goose and snow geese are not anything I'm ever gonna go after again on my own.
Yeah.
I don't enjoy eating them. I know some people have found some ways to cook them. I've never had them where I thought they were very good. So I don't feel it's kind of like I like bow fishing, but in the end I end up, you're making fertilizer out of carp, and there are places that carp need to be killed, and I understand that it's a different thing, but it doesn't make me feel great.
Yeah.
Yes.
Right. I mean, I almost hate to use the word on the podcast, but I think it's commonly framed as bloodlust. Like, when you're young and you're out there, and it's just, you get into it and it's fun. And again, I'm, not saying we wasted stuff. We didn't, but I just don't, it's just not the same. It's just different. And ducks, somebody said, hey, let's go shoot a half a dozen mallards. I'd be all about it, because I really like eating them.
Oh, I do too. Yeah.
But a bunch of, like you're saying, even a bunch of Canadas, I can eat a couple, but I don't love them, and I just don't, I don't feel the way. I'd be happy to go with CJ and Robert and hunt geese, but the difference would be, I might shoot one so that we had one, but I'd much rather watch the kids,
Yeah.
learn about it.
Yeah.
And if they're not going to be into it, then it's not all that likely I'll ever do it again.
Right. That's what I mean. It is fun. I mean, I get why people love goose hunting. It is a rush laying in the blind and knowing you have birds locked up, and it's very enjoyable. It's just one of those things. Like I said, I don't enjoy eating them, so I don't feel.
Yeah.
It's the same with trout fishing, honestly. Obviously fishing's a little different. You can catch and release, but I don't really target trout that often because I don't like eating them that much.
Yeah.
I'll smoke them, and CJ loves eating them, so I'm obviously going to take her. And if she loves eating Canada geese, I'll go with her and we'll shoot some Canada geese.
Yeah.
But, and it's the same with, shooting carp at night or bow fishing for carp and catfish is a ton of fun. Like, don't get me wrong. I'm not putting that stuff down. It's just, I don't like catfish. I know that Ranella has been doing a series on like trying to make carp delicious, and I don't know how any of that's worked out, but I've not heard good things about eating a carp, and I don't really have any interest in eating a carp. So it's just not something I'm going to seek out and go do myself.
Right. Yeah, it's funny. One of the last times I ever hunted snow geese was actually with me and Dad, and we had a really successful stalk, and we crawled up over this hill, and the flock got up in front of us, and you can shoot. Even then, it was 25 years ago or 30 years ago. You could shoot a bunch of them, and I emptied the gun, and I wasn't over a limit or anything, but probably had 10 or 12, and between Dad and I, we had 10 or 12, and he starts taking shells out of his gun. And I'm like, what are you doing? Like, why didn't you empty your gun? He said, I shot one shot and like 4 of them fell. I figured that was enough. And at the time I was just like, this does not compute. Like, what are you talking about? And now in hindsight, I'm like, yeah, no, that's exactly how I would be now. Like, yeah, it's good enough.
I think it is funny that, like, when I was younger, right? Like, I loved eating bluefish. Like, I would, and I'm using this as an example, and snow geese. Like, I think we were more adventurous in like, oh, we've harvested it, we're gonna make it, and we're gonna eat it and say we liked it almost. Yeah, sure. And now I'm like, I don't need to keep a bluefish.
Right.
Like, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah, if there's a specific thing I want to do with it, something I want to try. I mean, like, there's a lot of fish. There's a lot of critters I feel that way about. Like Spanish mackerel, I don't love cooking them. I would keep another one to make ceviche out of because that was a good recipe. And if somebody else said, hey, here's a great recipe for Spanish mackerel, try this. Yeah. Do I want to go fill up a cooler full of Spanish mackerel and fillet them and freeze them? Not at all.
Yeah.
And maybe somebody listens like, you're crazy. There's a great way to do it. You're just doing it wrong, and that's possible. And maybe the same thing's true of carp. But, I'm also not going to spend a ton of time experimenting with something where I'm like, this is okay.
Right.
Like,
I'll take their word for it on the carp.
Yeah. If I do a whole lot of work, maybe it's okay. Like, maybe I'll just put it back.
We were in Maine one time. And they catch, I guess they call them Atlantic mackerel up north.
Sure.
They look very similar to a Spanish. They're just a mackerel.
Yeah. They're what you really think of when you think of mackerel.
Correct.
Yep.
And you could take a bear hook. Like they'd have rigs that had like 3 or 4 hooks on one line and throw those in and pull 3 or 4 of these mackerel up at one shot with like no bait or very little bait. And there were people there filling the coolers. And so that I kept one or two that evening, took them back, cooked them, ate them, and it was like, oh man, that is not good. I don't know what I did wrong. So the next day we went to this dock, and the lady was there again filling her cooler. And I'm like, I got it. Like, how do you cook these things to eat them? She just looked at me and went, "Eat them. I keep these for dog food for the winter." Like,
Oh,
she couldn't believe that we even tried eating it.
yeah.
But there was a guy there on the dock, and he said he overheard the conversation. He said, "There's only one way you can eat these," and he filleted it there on the tailgate of his truck and gave us a piece of fresh sushi.
Oh, yeah.
And it was very, very good. He sashimi'd it. It was very good. But, you know, uh, there, like, I don't need to keep any more of those mackerel. I'm never going to do anything with them.
Yeah. Right.
Freeze them for dog food.
Even, yeah, I don't know. I don't think I'd want to feed my dogs mackerel at this point. I think they got to get their systems used to that, and I don't want to go through the transition. What about what's the opposite of that last question? What's the thing, that you're like, that is the thing I have to do again?
I mean, there's a lot of things I haven't done. So
yeah, we'll get to that. That'll be save that for the next question. What's the thing that you've done that you're just like, this is my jam, and recognizing that this will not probably be the same answer 5 or 10 years from now.
Yeah, I mean, maybe because it's fresh in my mind, but anchor up and catch.
Yeah,
get into the cobia, like catch one that's legal actually, but. I had one of the things I think that was quite different from my childhood to yours was I had spent a lot of time with Dad and Dave down at the Bay.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think you got quite as much of that as I did at the Chesapeake.
Right.
And from that, basically, like, I never wanted fancy cars. I've had some nice trucks and stuff like that, but my thing was my entire life, I didn't want a camper. I always wanted a bay boat. And so, and this is an easy answer because I know we're going to do it again, but like, any time I can get that boat to the bay with you guys, with everyone, as many people in our family that want to go, that's what fulfills me, because that was something I've wanted, that boat, my entire life. And it is by no means the fanciest boat or the nicest boat or the newest boat or the most reliable boat in the world, but it's making memories that I hope CJ and Robert and Emmett and Rachel and everyone will be able to enjoy the way I enjoyed the memories with Dave and Dad.
Mm-hmm. Do you think that if you got to the point where you could go out there and catch 2 or 3 keeper cobia every day, do you think that you'd just move on to something else?
We've said it before, like, that's such an interesting fishery. Do I think that I would move on to a whole different pursuit, like elk hunting?
No. I mean, cobia fishing specifically.
Oh, I mean, I really want to catch a keeper cobia.
Yep.
I mean, my thing is like, I really, really, really want to break the 10 pounds in a sheep's head. Like,
okay,
that's more. So if I went out there and caught, was on number 10 or 20 of my over citation sheep's head, then maybe my goals would change. Yeah, I'm sure they would. The thing about that place is, and it's one of the things that's so special in my heart, is like, there's so much that changes there year to year, and there's so many fish to pursue there, different species of big game fish that get very big for their species in that specific area. And I feel like your pursuits can change, you know what I mean? Like, you could spend the way we do it, we could spend 4 years where we're really honing in on trying to get big cobia and get to understand it. And then the date would change that we go down, or we would say, hey, well, this year, like, we really want to get a 60-pound red. Like, that's the goal. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So,
well, no, I know. And that's
So-
kind of what I'm asking about is like, I feel like Caitlin was giving me a hard time on a recent podcast about me saying, like, I've always wanted to, you know, do whatever. And I think it really is a case that, like, if we really got the cobia figured out and we got really good at catching them, we'd stop fishing for them. We'd be like, you know, there's tarpon down here too.
right. There are.
I know. You know, like, I've always wanted to catch a tarpon. Like, now I need to buy a whole nother set of gear. I need all kinds of different stuff so we can go fish for tarpon.
The yellowtail are like not, or the amberjacks are really not that far from where we're fishing.
Right. Exactly.
Like
we've never gone and fished for big black sea bass.
Right. And the kings, they catch them like right off the beach and on the ocean side of Virginia Beach.
Right.
So, like, yeah, I mean, that being said, I would probably catch a keeper cobia before I went out. You know, if I knew what I was doing 100%, like, I'm still going to spend some time doing it. You know what I mean?
Maybe. Maybe.
Okay. Well, if we went out for amberjacks, for AJs, and didn't catch one, at some point we're going to change gears and go to what we know how to do.
Right. Yes. You're right about that.
Matt would not handle not too many days of not catching fish before he'd be grumbling.
That's true. So now the next question, what is that? Like, what's the thing that's on your mind that you really want to do that you've never done before?
I hesitate. I mean, I've never elk hunted. I've hunted elk with you. I've never had a tag of my own. I think, so that's something I'd like to do at least once. It's a little difficult not knowing. So far, the last 2 falls have been very bad as far as what I've been able to do with my MG flare-ups. So, hopefully getting to a point where I know what to do to control that and hopefully not have that happen would give me more confidence to say, like, that's what I want to do. But if it never happens, like, I'm okay. You know, it's not, there's nothing that eats at me in that way. I mean, last fall I really wanted to catch a lake trout. Dad and I went and did a lake trout trip and had some success. I don't know that, like, now that I've done it, I'm happy that I did it. I'd do it again, but I don't know that it's something I have to commit much time to. I'd like to catch a big striper. I'd like to catch nice representations of all the species that I really love to fish for. I think we've put 2 or 3, plus 30-pound redfish on the boat now, which for people down there is like a weekly basis. But for us, we're Googans. We get 1 week every other year with you in your instance, and us 1 week a year, 2 weeks a year down there. So I'd like to catch one of those myself at some point. Stuff like that is more what I'm excited about. But, I'd be just as happy if I never catch one and CJ's on the boat and does. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or Rachel does. I was super happy for Caitlin
this
summer.
Well, and again, back to that
cool fish.
Back to that point, like, who cares what the locals regularly catch? You know what I mean? Who cares?
Yeah,
who cares what kind of deer your neighbor shoots on a farm that you don't have access to? Like, it's about what's special to us, and those special fish, man. That cobia was. I mean, nobody that seriously fishes for cobia would be impressed in the least with the cobia that we caught. That's a special fish to me.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah. We can do the elk hunting thing. We can figure that out. And we have places to elk hunt that are not as hard to elk hunt as a lot of the traditional elk hunting spots. Now, some of that might end up being, if we don't want to kill ourselves, it might be hunting out of a tree stand for elk, which is not the traditional way to do it, but can also be pretty effective.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're not looking for you up there.
They are really not looking up in those trees. They are not that scared of stuff coming out of trees, Adam. I got two things. I want to call in a Miriam's turkey for you. That's really on my list, and I know that spring is just an awful time for you to get away from work, but one of these years we have to do that. And then I really want to do a trip to Cabo with the families.
Mm-hmm.
I think if we could get out and find the right guide on one of those pangas on a smaller boat, where we got a lot of sort of control about what we were doing and we're allowed to make our own mistakes and stuff. I think I would just love for us to catch some yellowfins and a wahoo or two and maybe hook a striped marlin out of a little boat.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I think that's something we'll have discussed, and I think we'll eventually make that happen.
Yeah. It's just so cool to catch those fish so close to shore.
Yeah.
I mean, the runs that we make to get to the bridge are twice as far as you need to go to, catch a striped marlin.
It's wild.
It's crazy. Or a yellowfin tuna or a wahoo or,
right.
Any number of things. And that's not even to mention like the rooster fish and, cool inshore stuff that's also there.
They are one of the few things that, like, if somebody was like, they're pretty high on my list of something I'd like to at least see caught and see in real life. They look like they're just a wild fish. If you don't know,
a rooster,
a rooster. They are cool.
Yeah, they are cool fish. Wahoo for some reason are the ones that bother me. Like, that's the thing that I think I could really go down a rabbit hole fishing for wahoo. They're delicious. They get big, they're super fast swimming fish. They're just really cool. I think they're awesome.
You caught one, right?
Yeah, Matt, I caught one in Cabo last year. That's the only one I've ever caught. GT and Robert fought one that was probably twice as big as the one I had, the one I caught, and they had it almost to the boat when it got off. Matt caught one about the same size as the one I caught in North Carolina.
Yeah.
The first time we ever went offshore. But I think part of the Cabo thing for me, because it's not just about like, oh, what fish you get a picture with at the end of the day. It's so much about how you catch them and what you're doing,
Mm-hmm.
And what I really loved about that was, it's like in a little boat, it's like you look around and you're like, oh, we could do this. This isn't like a 40-foot sport fisher, with giant outriggers and if we had your boat in Cabo, we could go troll for tuna and wahoo and, pitch baits at striped marlin and do other stuff. But anyway, that's the stuff I'd like to do with you in the next 10 years.
Yeah. Yeah. I'd love to get down to, I'll get down to Florida sometime. There's some stuff down there that interests me too.
Yeah.
Triple tail, hogfish, stuff like that. Stuff that we don't catch up here, although they are starting, I think, to pick some triple tail up around.
Are they?
Up further north, warming waters.
Mm-hmm.
So it's the same, same with the tarpon, stuff like that. But again, if it's hard to give up, I love the lower bay so much that it's hard to give up time down there if that's what it means.
Yeah.
But we'll get there.
Yep. Well, anything else to add to your 40th birthday episode, Mark?
Oh, I don't. Again, we're just so blessed to have the parents and the siblings that have had the impact that they've had on my first 40 years, good and bad.
Anything you've thought of that you'd like to apologize to me for yet?
Not yet, no. No, I'll think of it right after we hang up.
Yeah, I'll check back in on that later.
I didn't ask you that on your 40th birthday.
No, well, it's the same answer. I'm sorry. I'm sorry to you that I didn't record you missing that big buck in Potter
Oh.
County when you were 15.
Yeah, well, I'm sorry that you didn't keep recording when we hooked in that cobia.
That was a mistake. You're right. Sorry about that.
Yeah.
All right. Well, happy birthday.
Thank you.
Yeah, I love you, bro.
Love you too.
Hey, everybody, it's Mike. I'm back, and Caitlin's here with me now.
Hello.
So, unbeknownst to Mark, I called up a lot of family members. I think we talked to Kate, to Mima, to Matt, to Poppy, and, of course, to Rachel and CJ. And basically ask everybody the question, what do you love about Mark? So
That's nice.
yeah. This will be a little bit of a surprise to Mark when he listens to the episode that we've included this at the end. And I just wanted to introduce it quick. And I also wanted to give Caitlin a chance to answer the question.
I think what I love about Mark is that he's just a good person. He's a good dad. That's obvious. He's a good partner. He's a good brother. He's been a good brother-in-law. He's a great uncle. But one of my favorite things I enjoy about Mark is probably his playful spirit and sense of humor. He's really funny.
Yeah.
And when we're with them, he makes me laugh a lot, and a lot of the time it's at your expense.
People do generally enjoy that, I've found, yes.
But it's all in good fun. And honestly, I think you enjoy it from Mark. Like, you're kind of happy to let Mark poke fun at you more than any other person on this planet.
Huh.
Is my observation, which tells me a lot about just how comfortable in your relationship and secure in your relationship you feel with him. But yeah, he's funny. He has a playful spirit. I'll never forget the time he came on that oryx hunt with us.
Uh-huh.
You know where I'm going?
Probably.
Anyways, it was our first oryx hunt in New Mexico. And it was a once in a lifetime tag. So you go into it thinking you're going to have 2 or 2.5 days max, to fill this tag, and you're not going to draw that sort of hunting tag ever again. So there's a little bit of pressure going into it. And especially since we've never oryx hunted before, there was, some pressure from that standpoint. Like, there's a lot of things about the species we don't know and how they behave. And you can't just access the missile range any other weekend to like get out and scout, anything like that. So we're kind of going into it at square one. But you're allowed to bring some guests. So, of course, I brought you, and then we invited our good friend Doc, and we asked Mark if he'd like to come out and join in that, and he did, and I'm glad he did. But like on one of the first stalks we did, it was really frustrating because you could, it's really open. You can see him. We saw him from the road. We started in toward him, and it just seemed like anytime we'd stop and glass them and range them, they were still just as far as they were the last time we had stopped.
Mm-hmm.
So that was frustrating. And it looks flat. And for the most part, it is flat. But once you start into like hunting scenarios, there's aspects of topography that you don't really think about that all of a sudden are a big deal, right? Like tall grass and like just a tiny bit of slope making a difference. Anyway, all that to say, we spent a lot of time messing around with these oryx. Didn't get a shot at them. Finally blew them out. And you were mad.
Yeah, I was frustrated.
And we were frustrated too. But even in the moment, I remember thinking like, well, that was a little bit fun.
Yeah.
That kind of goofy cat and mouse thing. But I think it was such a unique hunt, and it was so new, so novel. And Mark was there, and we only had 2 days, and I think the pressure of it all was weighing on you. So that made you a little extra mad. And it's tough when it's like, I saw it, we were right there. There was a whole bunch of them, and we didn't even get a shot.
Right.
But you were so mad. You took your hat off and spiked it into the dirt. And then you were still so mad about it, you decided to go up and kick your hat. And the hat just flew it didn't go horizontal. It just flew straight up in the air. And then it fell down and hit you.
Yeah.
And I knew how mad you were, so I couldn't laugh at you in the moment. But I did look at Mark. And we were both so close to laughing. And so anyways, I just appreciated that in that particular unique moment of frustration that you had, that there was somebody else that was seeing the humor in it. And I feel like we often connect that way.
Yeah.
In making fun of you.
Well, I'm glad that Mark is a partner in crime for you to make fun of me.
Yeah.
He's a great guy.
He is. Happy birthday, Mark.
All right, here we go with the rest of the family. All right, it's Mark's 40th birthday. I got Kate here.
Okay.
What do you love about Mark?
Oh, boy. What don't I love about Mark? Mark is, Mark and I have a unique bond because you and, Annie loves Mark too. Did you hear that?
I hear Annie.
You and Matt were always a little closer when we were younger. And so Mark and I were always a little bit closer, which meant we had, yeah, Mark. Are we talking about Uncle Mark? It meant we had the most intense fights, really scary, but also made up really fast. And so I would say, based on some of those fights, I love that he's forgiving, and he's fun, and he's outgoing, and he's friendly. I think that's one thing you and Mark share is like a friendliness and an ease with people that I both love about him and also admire. Yeah, Mark.
Annie's really excited about Mark.
Yeah, I know. She was just making him his birthday card. Man, I don't know. I mean, lots of things, Yeah. He's helpful. He's funny. All of those. Mark. All of those things. But yeah, other than that, I love pretty much everything about him. Happy birthday, Uncle Mark.
Here's the question is, what do you love about Mark?
Oh, there's tons of stuff. Let me think. He was an easy child and baby, always cooperative and fun. He's committed to his family. There's a strong commitment there, and to his work ethics. And he loves the outdoors like all the rules seem to do. Loves and respects the outdoors.
There you go.
How's that?
Pretty good. He's all right for a little brother, I guess.
Yeah, we're doing something for about his birthday.
Yeah, big birthday.
Yeah, big birthday. My baby is 40.
Hard to believe, isn't it?
It is hard to believe.
Yeah, that means the rest of us are older.
Everybody but me.
No, right? Yeah, we all just keep catching up to you.
Yeah,
we'll be passing you soon.
Pretty soon, anytime now.
Right. You want to tell him you love him?
Oh, I love him to the moon and back.
All right.
As I do all of you.
We know. We love you too, Mom. I know this is hard as the oldest brother, but Mark's 40th birthday is tomorrow. So can you think of something that you love about him, or at least something to say about him that's not mean?
You mean on the spot?
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. I couldn't ask for a better younger brother.
Yeah. As little brothers go, he's on. Wait, I'm a younger brother.
That went right over your head.
Never mind. I knew I shouldn't have called you.
40. I can't believe he's going to be 40.
Right? He's all right, though.
He really is. All right. Well, happy birthday, Mark.
What do you love about Mark?
Oh, what do I love about the youngest of my children? He was the one I think that was the calmest growing up. So I love that part of him, that he's, he's not quite as energetic as that's not the right word. I'm not
Excitable?
sure. Fumbling. Yeah. I love that all of you guys get into hunting and fishing. I love that he got into hunting and fishing. He got into it that much that he wanted to get a big boat. Like all of us now have boats, so he's the winner with the biggest. But I love him and the fact that he has a family. Has CJ. Things have worked out real well for him in that line, and I like having him close by and being able to go, like we were over there eating last night. So, and I like all his interests that he has. He was, since getting at the house where he's at, he's had bees. Looking through his garden last night, he really, they really have a big garden. I like all his interests that he has. And I like that he's gotten really interested in his church. He seems to be really into that, and it's important to him. I like that he's family.
Yeah.
I like that him and all of you guys talk. I mean, one of the main things I've thought about already is, if once I'm gone, what I hope is that the family keeps being a family, and you guys are still getting back together and fishing and hunting and just talking and doing podcasts, things like that. So,
well, I don't think you have to worry about that.
About doing podcasts?
No, about being a family, about getting together.
Right. Yeah, happy birthday, Mark. Happy 40th.
All right, it's Mark's 40th birthday.
Sure is.
What do you love about Mark?
Go ahead, CJ.
That he's my dad. He's like the best dad anyone could ever wish for. He teaches me how to hunt and fish.
You have any specific memory that jumps out at you?
When he taught me how to fillet fish.
When he taught you how to fillet fish?
Yeah, that's fun.
That's a good one. Rachel, what do you love about Mark?
What don't I love about Mark? He's probably the most honest and humble guy that I know. He's just steady. He's reliable. You can count on him all the time. He leads our family with faith, and I have so much respect for him, aside from him being, the person I chose to tie my life down to. He's super patient and
funny.
Yeah, of course he's funny. But on the patient note, this is so good, because if you know me at all, I am not. So he has just this ability to stay calm and level when I'm already 10 steps ahead, worked up about something, and have decided that something needs to happen immediately. He balances me out for sure. I love that he's not afraid to laugh at himself or be ridiculous. And I think I spent a lot of my life trying to hide my own goofy side or feeling like I need to tone that down. And he really brought that back out of me, so I can just be weird with him, just completely be myself and never wonder if he thinks I'm too much. And I appreciate that about him. I love how supportive he is, with my business, starting that up, and, never knowing where that was going to take us 10 years ago. And whether it's goals, in the gym or whatever, he's just always so supportive. And honestly, half the time he knows me better than I know myself. I mean, he knows when I'm going to get hangry before I even know that I'm about to get hangry. CJ says, yep. But watching him be a dad to CJ is just one of my favorite things. He loves her so well. He's so patient. And I love that she gets to grow up seeing what it looks like to have not just a dad who loves his family, but a husband who is best friends with his wife, and he will do anything for his family. So just having that example for her is something that I value so much. But I could probably come up with 100 things that I love about Mark, but I really think it just comes down to he gives you space to completely be yourself. And yeah, he's just my person. I'm really, really grateful I get to do life with him.
That's a great answer.
Thanks. What's your favorite thing about Mark?
Boy, my favorite thing about Mark is that in the last 5 years, Mark and I have grown closer and closer. And
he has said the same thing.
I think it's special to find something new within a lifelong relationship.
Yeah.
So
honestly, this podcast, I think, has really drawn you guys closer together, and that's been so cool to see.
I think it's definitely helped. I think it's an expression of something that was growing between us before we started it.
Yeah.
So, yeah. I love
Good
that Mark's my brother.
But he's not turning 40. You know that. He's turning 39 again, he says.
No, well, I don't know that I'm going to let him get away with that exactly, but
I wouldn't.
He's going to be good. He's going to be good in his 40s.
Yeah, he's going to age like fine wine.
Or old cheese.
Or like a cantaloupe.
A cantaloupe? How's that?
Age like a cantaloupe.
Because he's like the inside of a cantaloupe. He's sweet. Oh.
What?
I love that.
Say that again, CJ.
You might age like a cantaloupe because the inside of him is sweet.
I think he's going to get sweeter and sweeter until he's rotten. How about that?
Yeah.
All right. Thanks, guys. I love you, and happy birthday, Mark. Hi, everybody. I'm back just to close this out. One last time, happy birthday, Mark. We all love you. If you want to send Mark a birthday message, shoot it to him at outdoorrules@gmail.com. Thanks so much, everybody, for listening. As always, you can find all of the content on the website, www.outdoorrules.com. And we're over there on the socials at Outdoor Rules on Instagram. And we've got the Facebook page. So hit us up there. And we hope to see you next week.
Hunting and fishing, the great outdoors, mixing history, laughter, love, and folklore, creating memories with family and friends. These are the trophies that matter in the end. Outdoor Rules.